What's up guys, Saf here on SuperSaf TV and it's here, the iPhone 12 Pro Max. One of the first unboxings of this in the world, SuperSaf style, so a thumbs up for that would be appreciated. This is really the iPhone that I was most excited for because it does offer some unique features that you're not going to get on any of the other iPhone 12s. Now I've also got the iPhone 12 mini in the house. This is going to be unboxed in a separate video, so if you're interested in that, I'll link that video in the cards and in the description. And if you're interested in the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro, I've already unboxed those in previous videos. Again, those will be linked in the cards and in the description. And we'll also do a bit of a size comparison between all of the new iPhone 12s. I also have the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which has been my daily driver for the better part of a year, so we can do a bit of a comparison there too. Let's get to it. Now, taking a look at the box, this is full black, and you can see that I do have the gold version, which is something that I did want to check out. It is quite a slim box. However, the box is larger compared to the other iPhone 12s. Let's do a bit of a size comparison. Now, taking a look at all of the boxes side by side, you can see that the iPhone 12 mini has the smallest box, the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro, the same size, the iPhone 12 Pro Max with the largest of the bunch. Now to my favorite part, removing the plastic. Okay, that's pretty big.
That's what she said.
Apart from the iPhone itself, we do get a USB Type-C to Lightning cable in the box, as well as this little pack, which has the SIM card tool, some safety info, as well as a single Apple sticker. Now, I'm sure pretty much all of you already know that the new iPhone 12s do not come with a power brick or earpods included out of the box. Apple say this is to save on carbon emissions, and by not including these, which they say most people already have, then you are reducing on carbon emissions quite significantly. However, on the other side of the argument, you've got a USB Type-C to Lightning cable. So not many people will have USB Type-C adapters if they are coming from older iPhones. Only the iPhone 11 Pro and iPhone 11 Pro Max came with USB Type-C adapters. So although you'll be able to use your Lightning cable with a regular 5-watt charger, which you may have from an older iPhone, you won't be able to get the full charging capability of the new iPhones unless you go out and buy a 20-watt charger, which has been reduced in prices around £20, around $20. But just something to bear in mind, there does seem to be quite a mixed opinion around this. A lot of people don't seem to mind this and others do. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. So the design is pretty much identical to the iPhone 12 Pro, which I have here. So we have the matte glass finish on the back, which I really do like, along with the flat stainless steel edges. Now, I've really liked the flat edges on the new iPhones, kind of give me the iPhone 4 and 5 vibes. I really do like them, and especially with this stainless steel gold, they do look really, really good. But a couple of things to bear in mind. I'm gonna have to see with this larger and heavier iPhone how those flat edges will be on the day to day. But also the stainless steel frame, one thing that I have noticed on my iPhone 12 Pro is that it attracts a lot of fingerprints. I mean, you can see that I've literally just unboxed it and we've already got lots of fingerprints all over the frame. Something to bear in mind. Personally, I do think I prefer the matte finish on the aluminium versions, the iPhone 12 mini and the iPhone 12. However, they are not as premium or as durable. This is the gold version. There is the Pacific Blue, which we've seen on the iPhone 12 Pro, as well as a silver and a graphite version. I really do like the blue, but I'm sure the gold is going to be quite popular. Let me know down in the comments which color is your favorite. Now, as with the other iPhone 12s, the 12 Pro Max does have IP68 water and dust resistance, and this is a higher rating of water and dust resistance compared to lots of the competition. You can have this underwater up to 6 meters for 30 minutes, whereas a lot of the competition, you're looking at around 2 or 2.5 meters. Now let's move over onto the front and remove this screen protector. And this is a paper screen protector, something that I've not seen on any other devices before the new iPhones. Again, this goes towards the environmental impact. And here it is. This is the cleanest it's going to look ever. Now this display, as with the other iPhone 12s, does have ceramic shield, and Apple don't even call this glass. It's supposed to have 4 times improved drop performance compared to the previous generation, and this has been tested by other YouTubers. I don't do drop tests, and it does look very, very promising. However, it isn't any more scratch resistant, so if you do want to protect your shiny new iPhone, then I would recommend picking up a tempered glass screen protector from our channel sponsor Dbrand. Dbrand screen protectors are super easy to apply, and you do actually get 2 out of the box. They of course have Dbrand level precision and have an audiophobic coating. If you want to get a tempered glass screen protector for one of your new iPhones, then I'll be leaving a link to Dbrand down in the description below. Now taking a look at this display, this is the largest display Apple has ever had on an iPhone. It's 6.7 inches. However, it is roughly the same size body as the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And here is the iPhone 11 Pro Max for a comparison. So you can see that the iPhone 12 Pro Max is a little bit taller as well as a little bit wider. But the iPhone 11 Pro Max does have a smaller 6.5 inch display. And I'd say the bezels look around about the same size. However, they do appear smaller on the iPhone 12 Pro Max because we have flat edges. The iPhone 11 Pro Max, because it curves around on the sides, when you do look at these front on, the iPhone 11 Pro Max does appear to have slightly thicker bezels. Now they do weigh exactly the same, 226 grams, and having a feel of both of these, I gotta say, first impressions, the iPhone 11 Pro Max does overall feel a little bit more comfortable thanks to those curved edges. The iPhone 12 Pro Max, not bad by any means, but it does give you a bit more grip, I would say, because of those flatter edges. Now let's do a quick size comparison between all the new iPhone 12s. So we've got the iPhone 12 mini, the 12, the 12 Pro, and the 12 Pro Max. So you can see these all side by side. And the iPhone 12 Pro Max is definitely a big boy, especially if you compare it directly side by side versus the iPhone 12 mini. I mean, the size difference is pretty big, but of course these are targeted at very different users. Now the display itself, apart from being larger, is very much the same as the iPhone 12 Pro. So it's Super Retina XDR OLED technology, 2,000,000:1 contrast ratio, up to 1200 nits of peak brightness when viewing HDR content. But we unfortunately do not have a high refresh rate. This is something that I was definitely hoping for, at least on the Pro models. Now there's lots of rumors around why this is. Some are saying it's because of supply issues, others are saying it's because of battery life. Nevertheless, 120 Hz is not here this year. It looks like it's something that we will probably see next year. Now, one thing that I definitely want to talk about is the cameras. So the iPhone 12 Pro Max has the exact same front-facing camera like we have on the other iPhone 12s. It's 12 megapixels with an f2.2 aperture, can film at up to 4K 60 frames a second. But things get very interesting on the rear-facing cameras. So the ultra-wide camera is the same as what we've got on the iPhone 12 Pro. So 12 megapixels, 120-degree angle of view. But the primary camera as well as the telephoto camera are different. The primary camera is 12 megapixels, but it has a much larger sensor size. It's actually 47% larger compared to the iPhone 12 Pro, as well as the iPhone 11 Pro Max. That, along with the wider f1.6 aperture, means that you get an 87% improvement in low light compared to the iPhone 11 Pro Max last year. Not only that, the primary camera also uses sensor shift optical image stabilization. Now, I don't want to go into too many technical details, but essentially optical image stabilization on a smartphone usually uses the lenses, but this is the first time we have sensor shift optical image stabilization on a smartphone. This is something that we generally tend to see on professional mirrorless and DSLR cameras, and it's where the sensor actually moves to compensate for motion when taking photos and videos. The telephoto camera is also different compared to the iPhone 12 Pro. So it is 12 megapixels and it has a 2.5 times optical zoom compared to 2 times. So this gives you roughly around a 65mm angle of view. Now I've said this before a few times, but Apple does not seem to be interested in crazy telescope zoom, right? Like we've seen on lots of the Android smartphones recently. From what I can see, the telephoto camera is mostly for portrait photography. Now, if you speak to a photographer, generally they will shoot portraits at 50mm or above. Having the wide angle for portraits is great, but it doesn't really give you that portrait look, something which I do prefer. And it's going to be super interesting to see what the portraits look like on the iPhone 12 Pro Max compared to others. And guys, of course, I'm going to be working on a SuperSaf style camera comparison of the iPhone 12 Pro Max versus the competition. Definitely let me know in the comments below which device you'd like me to compare this to first. And of course, make sure you have subscribed and hit that bell icon so you don't miss it as soon as it's out. Now, in addition to that, we also have the LiDAR scanner, and this is going to help with depth information, which is not only going to be useful for AR, but also for autofocus in low light situations and for portraits in low light. Now, I've tested the iPhone 12 Pro for portraits in low light. It does use the primary camera for this. However, it does do a great job. And that's because the LiDAR scanner does not rely on light to give you that depth information. And the LiDAR scanner is not just for photos. There are lots of other uses. It can help with AR, giving you much more precise information. And a new feature that we've got on the iPhone 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max is people detection. Now, this is around accessibility, so if there is somebody that's visually impaired, the iPhones will be able to use the LiDAR scanner to detect how far people are from them so that they can maintain social distancing. Now, for video, you guys may have already had, but we do have 4K HDR with Dolby Vision up to 60 frames a second on all three of these cameras. Now, this is up from 4K 30 frames a second Dolby Vision HDR on the iPhone 12 mini and the iPhone 12. But something that I did learn recently is that 4K HDR with Dolby Vision is not supported at 4K 60 frames a second from the front-facing camera. So regardless of the Pro models, you will only get 4K 30 frames a second with Dolby Vision HDR on the front-facing camera. You can film 4K 60 frames a second from the front-facing camera. However, this will be without Dolby Vision and HDR. Now, another thing that I'm really looking forward to is Apple Pro RAW. So this will be the ability to take RAW images on your new iPhones with all of that computational photography goodness that you get on the iPhone cameras. No idea when this is going to come, but I am super excited for this. Right, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is powered by the A14 Bionic chip, as with the other iPhone 12s. However, the Pro models, you do get more RAM, which should help with multitasking. And of course, you do get 5G. Now, I've talked about this many times, but 5G is very dependent on your area at this time. So some areas you do get great connectivity, others you do not. But for me, 5G is more of a long-term thing. If you don't have great support right now, you should be getting it soon, and this way you will be future-proofed by having 5G on your new iPhone. One other thing to mention as well is that in the UK, you do not get millimeter wave. Millimeter wave is a faster form of 5G, the fastest. However, the range is very limited. You practically have to be near a tower to get crazy fast gigabit speeds, and that's the reason why we don't have that antenna on the frame. And looking at the frame, we've got nothing on the top. At the bottom, we have the lightning connector, as well as one of the two stereo speakers. The other one is in the earpiece. On the right-hand side, we have the power button. And on the left-hand side, we have the volume buttons, the mute switch, as well as a SIM card tray for the physical SIM card. However, you can have dual SIM cards on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. One of those can be an eSIM. We also have all of the Face ID sensors within the notch, which works absolutely fine. I would have liked to have a fingerprint scanner in addition, especially in the day and age of masks, but this is not here this year anyway. And let's talk about the battery. So the iPhone 12 Pro Max does have the largest battery on any iPhone 12 this year. And I'm personally really looking forward to testing this out and seeing what the battery life is going to be like with that larger display as well as with 5G, because the iPhone 11 Pro Max for me over the past year has had some of the best battery life on any smartphone that I've tested. Up to 20-watt fast charging is supported, but that charger, of course, is not included in the box. You would have to buy this separately. And we do have Qi wireless charging with MagSafe technology. So for Qi wireless charging, you can get up to 7.5 watts. But if you do use a MagSafe wireless charger, you can get up to 15 watts wireless charging. And there's many more MagSafe accessories, and there'll be lots and lots more coming. Now let's talk about the storage and the price. So this actually starts with 128 gigabytes, which is double the storage compared to last year. And in the UK, this starts at £1,100, which is $100 more compared to the iPhone 12 Pro. but it's actually coming in lower compared to what the iPhone 11 Pro Max came in at last year. So if you're in the UK at least, then you will be paying less compared to last year, which may somewhat make up for not having the charger and the AirPods included in the box. You can get up to a 512GB version of the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and this is going to be available from the 13th of November. What do you guys think of the iPhone 12 Pro Max? Are you going to be picking one up? What other coverage would you like me to do with this? Do drop that in the comments below. As mentioned, there's going to be lots more coverage with the iPhone 12 Pro Max coming here on the channel, SuperSaf style. So if you want to see all of that first, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss it. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do hit that thumbs up button for me. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time.